All right, guys. Welcome to a fairly short one today, just on the Panama Canal. And here you can see the overview. And this is a little bit older. They've done some widening since then. Certainly, as the ships have gotten a lot bigger. But the concept of how it works and its function is still very, 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 very much the same. That sure is a nice looking picture there. All right, so what happened here? And again, here's we see or commercial, sorry, a political cartoon here, and it looks like Teddy Roosevelt himself is just digging a channel right through there. And we were talking a little bit about some of the subtleties. You see right here it says Bogota, and that of course is in Colombia. And a lot of people didn't know this, but Panama was actually the northern province of Colombia. So at any rate, Teddy Roosevelt, as you know, he's the president at this point, was the Assistant Secretary of the Navy. He fought prominently in the Spanish-American War. He was vice president to McKinley, who, as we know, was assassinated, and he became president after McKinley's assassination. And one of the things that certainly was not a positive, a negative certainly, was he believed in the superiority of the white people or the Anglo-Saxon people. And because of this belief, and this belief goes directly into informing his actions, he felt that superior people had the right, if not the duty, to intervene in the affairs of the inferior in order to provide order and stability. Now, of course, the definition of superior and inferior, we can debate back and forth about that, but that was the view that Roosevelt had, and he certainly looked at the Central American and South American nations and he'd qualify them as the inferior. And so he felt that they didn't really know what they were doing, and they needed a superior power like us to sort of tell them what they should do. Well, here we see a look at the canal here, and there's different views, obviously. This, of course, is on the the Pacific side over here. Whoops, sorry about that. On the Pacific side over here, you see that we can drive through or sail through that small little portion right there. Now, the canal part itself would be fine and no problem if it was sea level, but it had to raise and lower ships, and that's what locks are for. And as you can see, this is a picture of a lock, and this here is how the lock system works. Basically, a ship would sail into this area, water would rise up, it would lift the ship up as well. These doors would open, it would sail into the next one. Water would rise up, and vice versa. And you can see this ship is coming right this way, and it's going to go down, so the water would then, the ship would sail in, the water would then be drained, and it would lower itself, and then it would continue out this way. And so there's several different locks, as you can see, over here. Several different locks. Oh, sorry, that was a lake there. There's a lock there. So, all right. So the benefits of the canal. Well, two ocean navy. You could easily get your ships through the canal. Nowadays, many, many, many of our military ships are just too big. But at the time, much smaller ships were fairly easy for them to travel through the canal. And now we have enough ships where we have Atlantic Fleet, Pacific Fleet, etc. You save almost 8,000 miles on a trip from New York to San Francisco. Now, let's take a look real quick. Hey, where's it supposed to be? Oh, I was going to show you. That's what I had on. There we go. Oh well, I was going to show you a picture of the time savings. But one of the things that they had to do, which instead of sailing all the way around South America, in some cases they would actually get off on the Atlantic side of Panama, unload all the ships and all the stuff, all the cargo, all the people, put on a train, travel by train across to the Pacific side, and then reload. And of course, that saved miles, but man, the extra work was certainly a lot. Created the country of Panama. Hey, come back. What's going on? Created the country of Panama, which again was the northern province of Colombia. And we just mentioned how you didn't have to, do the train thing. definitely huge for trade. Anytime you can reduce the costs and the time of trade, it's going to be very, very good. All sorts of innovative building techniques used, steam shovels, great coordination in terms of how to clear the dirt that was dug up. Um, Great new ways for controlling disease, because disease, particularly these sort of I guess Caribbean-based or tropical-based diseases. They had quinine, which was a thing to develop to fight against malaria, which was really the big one. But there's also all sorts of poisonous, or I should say, I'm sorry, venomous snakes and things like that. Um, Provided employment for thousands of people, and actually also gave the United States a fairly strong foothold, a strong influence in Central America. Now, the United States did give the Panama Canal back to Panama many, 10 years, 10, 15 years ago, something like that. So it's no longer under U.S. control, but it is open for everyone to use. All right. Thanks for watching.